Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Bethany. Here on my channel you can find all things homemaking. Today's video is something I'm super passionate about. I am sharing with you how I build an at-home grocery store. I'm sharing with you some future garden plans I have for this upcoming gardening season, and also going over some of the items on my canning shelf and in my prepper pantry that I might need to restock on, and doing a little bit more organization. Down in these cupboards right here, this is where I keep my extra prepper pantry stuff because we do live in a small single wide mobile home and do not have a lot of space, so I keep some stuff here, as well as I have a canning shelf you'll see, and then I have our everyday working pantry. So that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm just super passionate about this, and I hope that this video will give you inspiration to put food up for your family in any way that you possibly can. But let's go ahead and jump on into the gardening plans. Okay friends, so I just kind of wanted to show you this little design drawing I did here. Nothing fancy, definitely not an artist, but this would be the outside of our home. We do live in a single wide mobile home and we are limited on yard space. So we want to have some type of garden this year, and I was kind of just getting an idea of where we have the best light and where we have like the best combination of light and shade, and then how we could maybe do small container gardens, because where we live we can't till the ground or anything like that, so we would have to do everything in containers that are removable. So we were kind of getting an idea of what we wanted. So we have these two windows here on the side of our house, and then there's this big gap here, and this gap here gets the perfect morning and early day sun, and then as the evening comes this part shades over. Across the way from the grass, over here area, we do have a rock wall, but that gets sun 24/7, and we've had a garden next to that before, just like an upright, off the ground garden, and the plants just struggled because they were getting burnt. They were getting way too much sun, too much direct sun. So we figured up against the house here would be the best area. So some of the things we were looking at growing is tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers. We want to try some lettuces. We would like to try onions, potatoes, strawberries, broccoli, and garlic. And so I kind of thought things like the potatoes and the onions, tomatoes could all be in 5-gallon buckets with drainage holes at the bottom, a couple on each side. And then here right in the middle we could build a pallet planter, and that's where we could do things like our herbs, like our basil, thyme, rosemary, chives, things like that. We could all have here, and then on each side we would have our bigger items like the tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, things like that. So this was kind of just my, little drawing of what we might want to do as far as a garden. We definitely want to have some type of garden, but like I said, we're limited on space, so we can't have some big fancy garden at the moment where we live, but we want to be able to do something so I can put more food up for my family come fall time. So this was just kind of my little idea, and I just wanted to share with you guys in case you live in a small area, and you don't have a lot of land, how maybe you could grow some of your own food as well. So I just wanted to share this with you guys, but let's go ahead and get into the rest of the video. Okay, so I know I have shown you guys this shelf in a recent video a couple weeks ago, about a month ago maybe, but there are some new things, and so I kind of want to talk about this some more again. So like I've talked about before, the top shelf is all of my dry goods, things like brown sugar, whole wheat flour, all-purpose flour, sugar, pancake mix, powdered sugar, baking soda, baking powder, things like that. And then the second shelf here starts out with like some peppers and carrots, and then I have fruits, and then I have potatoes, and then here I have some things that I have vacuum sealed in jars, and I'll share those with you in a second. And then down here I have I only have one thing of applesauce right now, but I have all of like my fruit preserves, and then I have strawberries, jams, grape juice, grape jam, and then I have some Mylar bagged stuff here and there, and then down here I have squash, spaghetti sauces, salsas, stewed tomatoes, and then my proteins. And then down here I have a few more vegetables, but then this is all like soups, broths, and then some meals. So kind of going in depth here. Like I said, these are all my peppers. So I have a couple different jars of peppers and onions, and then back here I have some celery and carrots that would be ready for a soup or stew, and these are thyme and celery. And then I have some more celery and carrots back here that I just did. Again, more celery and carrots. These are just regular diced carrots, and these are actually candied carrots. So these are sliced candied carrots. They have like some brown sugar, cinnamon, and a few other things in those, but those are really good. And then just your regular canned carrots. So I like to keep a different variety of carrots on the shelf. I got a really good deal one day on some mandarin oranges, so I canned up 3 big jars of mandarin oranges we have saved up. I had a lot more peaches, but my daughter really loves my home canned peaches, and I just make them in a very light syrup, so they're it's mainly water with a tad bit of sugar in here, and then just the peaches. But these are just so beautiful, and they're so tasty. These are like seriously the best peaches I've ever had. So I got 3 jars left of those, and I would like to get some more of those this summer. Hopefully maybe buy a bushel of these and get them canned up so we can have more on the shelf, because where we live in a single wide mobile home, and we don't have a lot of land or anything, and the land we do have is rented. So we live in a mobile home park at the moment. We can't like till the land or anything. So if I do any gardening, which I shared at the beginning, like my gardening plans, I have to do all of them in containers. So there are certain things that we want to like go to the Amish for and get, you know, bulk of, so I can can, and that was peaches is one of them. Pears is another. My dad brought over a bunch of pears the other day that he was gifted, so I went ahead and canned these up in a light syrup as well. So I have 2 jars of pears, and then I have cinnamon apples, and this is in a light, you know, sugar water syrup with some cinnamon. So I have 2 small jelly jars of those, and then I have a pint-sized jar and a quart-sized jar. And these can be used for just opening the jar and eating them. I know people have had questions about that. You can open the jar and eat them, or you can, you know, put them in a pie or on like a apple, what's the word I'm looking for? Apple crumble, things like that. You can use those for. So I have the apples, and then over here we have all of our potatoes. These are like fry style potatoes. They're cut into fry slices. Same here. Otherwise we have diced potatoes, and we have some potatoes and carrots back there. And then over here recently I don't have this one labeled, but this is granola. I had granola in a bag, and the bag was just not staying sealed, so I used my 4 Jars lids. I do have an affiliate with 4 Jars if you're interested in checking out their lids. I'll put a link in the description, but this is sealed, so it's not going to come open, and everything is airtight in here. So I have some granola airtight, and that's good for a long time. And then I have some French fried onions that I did the same thing with. Another thing of French fried onions. And then back here I have bay leaves. And then I have some chives right here. And so that's just some of my like herbs and spices that I have. And then down here, like I mentioned before, these are applesauce, fruit preserves, jams, jellies. This is grape juice. So it's gonna be grape juice concentrate. You can go ahead and drain. There are blueberries in there too, but we have tried this, and it's actually really, really good. So you can just drain the fruit out. You could blend the fruit up, put it in a smoothie, whatever you want to do with it. Make some fruit leather with it. and then add some water to the juice, and you have homemade fruit juice. And then this is canned blueberry jam. So I have 2 jelly jars and a pint jar of blueberry jam. This is grape jam. And then some Mylar bagged items. I have like white rice, I have penne pastas, some lentils and beans back there. And then down here like pancake mix, and then 2 pancake mixes, and then dried milk. Here is canned ground beef, and I have them in a jelly, some of them are in a jelly jar because it's the last jars I had when I was canning this ground beef, but I got a really good deal on ground beef. It was $1.99 a pound, so I had in total got 20 pounds. So I had some canned here. I have 4 pint-sized jars here, and these pint-sized jars add up to be like a pound. So I have 4, 5, and then 6, 7. So essentially I have about 6 meals of ground beef here that would work for us. And we've used this in spaghettis, goulashes, chilies, casseroles. It is phenomenal. You wouldn't even know it was canned. I have some canned chicken. This is really good for like chicken pot pies, chicken salad sandwiches. That's really good chicken for that. I have some stewed tomatoes. This was actually one thing I want to garden this year is tomatoes. I want to do tomatoes, peppers, onions. I would like to try potatoes and garlic, and then of course like an herb garden, but I kind of showed you guys my plans previously. I only have a couple stewed tomatoes left, so I would like to be able to put up a lot more stewed tomatoes this year because we really like the home canned stewed tomatoes. They are delicious, and I use them in a lot of different recipes. We're not huge salsa eaters, so sometimes we do salsa, sometimes we don't. But I do have 4 things of salsa here. We have some red spaghetti sauce, and then this one is more of like an orange color because this was made with red and yellow tomatoes. So it's a little bit lighter in color, but it's still extremely good. And then we have our butternut squash here, and this is actually really good to make. This is actually really good to make a homemade not so pumpkin pie with. So that's actually why I keep that stacked, because I'm about the only one in my house that will eat that, but it makes a good dessert. And then down here, I have showed you guys these before. We have some green beans. We have some green beans, and then this is, you can see there's chicken in here. So there's chicken, corn, peas, celery, carrots, onions. This is ready to be chicken noodle soup or a chicken pot pie base. You can just pour it in your pot, drain it off, whatever you need to do, add noodles, and you got a meal right there. You got 3 of those back there. Here are all my like chicken broths, vegetable broths. I do have some more veggie scraps in my freezer that I'm going to be making some more broth with very soon. Here again is more of the same thing this is, it just doesn't have the corn. It just doesn't have the corn in it. These two don't. So yeah, I did forget to date these, but I do know that these were done in September. So I do need to get the dates back on those. But I have some Zupa soup that I canned, which was leftover Zupa from a pot that I made. I just didn't add the heavy cream to it. So if we want Zupa, we can just add a few more potatoes and put that in the pot, add our heavy cream, and we're good to go. I have some cabbage soup here, and then I have venison chili that I canned up and black beans that I canned up. So I just wanted to show you guys this one more time because I am super passionate about making an at-home grocery store and just being able to live off of items you have. This is not all the items we have. We do have another space I'll show you really quick. So like I said, I think it's really important to make sure you have things at home where if you can't get to the grocery store for a week or 2, you have food that you can make on hand to make nutritious meals for your family. You guys have seen this down here a time or 2. Over here I have instant mashed potatoes and some sugar in Mylar bags. Back there I have some canned soup, some SpaghettiOs, and then this is just like my backup condiments. So I have 2 ketchup, 2 mustard, a ranch, and a mayo. We have some almonds back there. We have some beef, vegetable, and chicken broth. I bought all those before I canned my own broth, so I had those in here. I have 3 jars of peanut butter for some extra protein, and then of course we have some of our I need to stock up on some more mac and cheese. We're getting a little bit low on mac and cheese, but all of our mac and cheeses, pastaronis, rice-a-ronis. I do need to stock up on some more of this kind of stuff, and then we have our actual rice up there. So this is like my working prepper pantry, so I will pull things from this and then I usually replenish. So I'm kind of taking inventory right now too and seeing what I need to replenish as I'm doing this video with you guys. So I'll write down some things that I need to replenish, and I'll remember that for coming week's grocery shopping, and when I get that list written out, I will share that with you guys as well. But down here we have some mixed vegetables here. There's a thing of applesauce there, but there are carrots, mixed vegetables, corn back there. This is really hard to organize because it's just such a small, not so deep space, so it's kind of hard to have it all organized. But we got pear slices, the corn, more pear slices, we got some peaches back there, some canned peaches, so we got that stuff. It's nice to have the fruits. And then because I don't have very many of my homemade stewed tomatoes left, when we went to Sam's Club and we did a stock up haul there, I did get a big case of the diced tomatoes because we use these in a lot of recipes. So I have a crud ton of diced tomatoes here in the front. And like I said, it's not the best organized just because it's hard to organize this small space. But I have this whole row here, I believe, is green beans. So we got a good amount of green beans from the store. And I think it's great to have home canned items. I prefer home canned over store canned, but if you don't have the option to home can, store canned is, you know, your next best option. And so I definitely encourage to get all things that you can to, you know, whatever you can put up for your family, any way that you feel is safe for your family. I encourage whatever you can do. So from here over is all of our different kinds of beans. We have chili beans, kidney beans, northern beans, pinto beans. All the beans are here, so that's another source of protein for us. I have some tomato sauces and diced tomatoes here, and then some more tomato paste in the back. And so that's just kind of what's down here. I do need to go through and organize this. Maybe I'll put that in this video as well, just kind of better organizing this area. But we'll see. I just wanted to walk through this with you guys again and just kind of show you what we have. And this is real life. This isn't extremely organized either. I'm just sharing with you guys real life. This is our everyday pantry where we're gonna grab things from. So we have some canned goods back here. There's a couple boxes of macaroni and cheese there. This was a bag given by the grandparents, snacks for the kids. We have some homemade maple syrup back there that my cousin makes, some honey, some raisins. We got a couple loaves of bread. We got some extra spices, some extra chili powder, cinnamon, salt, and then back here this is an extra Mylar bag. These are all my like seasoning packets. I try to stock up on seasoning packets and have a bunch of different seasoning packets. All of my canning lids and stuff. We got some snackies here, rice-a-roni. My kids do like to have these for lunches now and then, so I got them some of those. We got a couple macaroni and cheeses and things like that. That's another snack bag. We got some oatmeal, another snacky bin, and then over here we just got like our protein powder, juice boxes for the kids, some chocolate milk powder, some pasta. Again, none of this is organized. Just kind of thrown in here, but just showing you that we have a working everyday pantry too that we grab from first, which is all of this stuff. We got some buns up there, extra pasta, noodles, suckers for the kids, cereals, and then all of our oils. But I just wanted to show you we have this area as well that we keep food in so we can reach from every day.
Love has made a way. Hallelujah. Forever I give thanks. Hallelujah. Love has made a way. Hallelujah. Yeah, forever I give thanks. Oh, and I am so amazed by all you have done. I cannot explain the depth of your love. Limits can't contain the heart of you, God. I'm amazed at the depth of your love. Oh, and I am so amazed by all you have done. I cannot explain the depth of your love. Limits can't contain the heart of you, God. I'm amazed at the depth of your love. I'm amazed at the depth of your love. Yeah.
So this is just a quick list, and this is subject to change. But some items I seen when I was reorganizing the little bit of prepper pantry items that we have is I wanted to get some more like pastas, macaroni and cheeses, dinner sides. That would include like rice-a-ronis, pasta-ronis, anything that we could add with a side. Cream of soups. I noticed I only had one cream of mushroom soup, and that is extremely low for me. I did find a good recipe for some homemade or home canned cream of soups, so I would like to get a couple store ones and then as well as make some home canned ones as well. I would like to stock up on some more waters, cases of waters, jugs of waters, whatever we could get our hands on. I would like to get some more flours and sugars. I did have some down in the little prepper pantry area, but something had spilled down there and it got wet, so I had to throw those out, unfortunately. Some more condiments and proteins, and then one other thing I would like to add on here is butter. If I can find a sale on butter, I would like to get some butter because you can butter and make it shelf stable, or you can put it in your freezer, but we do have some extra nuts in our freezer. We have some bread in the freezer and things like that, so that is another thing I would like to stock up on. So these are just some of my items that I would like to get a better stock of at this moment. But just kind of sharing with you guys, hopefully going into this new season of spring and summer, if you guys are gardening, you guys can stock up as well, or if you don't garden, don't have a way to garden, don't have a way to can, maybe this video can just be inspiring to you, just to give you some thoughts on stocking up on anything store bought that you can, or home canned if you can. Also, I would just like to say thank you so much for joining me on today's video. I hope you got some inspiration out of it and some ideas of what you can do for your family in case of any type of emergency. If you're in need of prayer, leave it down in the comments. I'd love to say a prayer for you. But until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day.